Hey, real quick, if I can grab your attention before we get into the content and have you head into the description where there'll be a link to my sample pack store. This is a great way you can support the channel, get something in return. If you ever found any kind of value from what I do over here and you're an MPC user or an SP44 Mark II user, I specialize in packs for that. I also got some free stuff over there, so please do head over and feel free to download those. All right. Yo, what's good? It's been a minute. Praise Yah. Here we are. So, yeah, that's the topic of the day. If you guys want to drop in the live chat window, I'm curious how many of y'all are still sampling vinyl records and why. I gave them up. Like, I've done this more than once, though, of course, like many things. I gave up vinyl records because I thought this wasn't for me and doesn't really suit kind of idea that I want to put forth, where I down to focusing on one. But like anything, gas cyclical. So this is like I've been thinking about getting a record player, and I get something that's more than like one of those portables, because I have had a real, like, I guess, turntable deck since I first got into this, and I found like a deck at a yard sale. I got 2 decks. They didn't have any needles. I think I bought a stylus for it, whatever. And since then, I've always purchased like the compact, portable Newmark PT01, the Vestax, is it Handy Tracks? I don't know if it was called that, Vestax Handy Tracks. The Reloop Spin. Now they got the Korg Handy Tracks. I think it might have been the same design. So I've looked at those. Those are kind of expensive relatively for the portable ones, but I want something maybe like full size with a dust cover, and I'm not looking to spend too much money. So I am kind of curious at suggestions, ideas, but I am also kind of second guessing myself, because I know I've been here before where I've purchased and resold all my vinyl just because it takes up space and it's not as efficient as just digging online. But I kind of want to do it differently. Like I'm looking into some of the, like, I like the idea of maybe getting some of those grab bags, and I see there's some Etsy sellers online. There's I was curious if there was like some sort of a Netflix for vinyl records on the internet, and I came across an article about this company called Vynil without the I in it, and they tried to create this Netflix like service, but it actually violated I guess copyright laws and stuff. So they ended up switching their whole business model to just it's a membership, and they curate like 3 records and you don't know what they are, and they send them to you and you keep them or something. But yeah, like I seen Etsy sellers that have something similar, a little cheap, more affordable used records, and you can get like 45s and 12-inch records lot. So I'm curious about doing that. And I think if I get a record player, I'm not going to collect the records. I'm gonna go through and sample as much as I can if I like it, and then just give them away, or probably not resell them. I never really, there is one store in town that I could resell to, but and there's also this Salvation Army that I remember that I was going to on Mondays that was doing like 4 records for $1. So yeah, what is good? What we got in here today? John Dealey, what's up? You got a Techniques 1200? Well, those aren't cheap, are they? Yeah, so I'm gonna show you my 2 options, because they're under $200. I don't want to spend more than $200. I know I'm not really gonna get the quality if I spend a little bit more, but I think it'll at least match or surpass like Newmark PT01 sound quality. So yeah, we'll get straight into it. And then I had like something else on my mind that is interesting, because it was my daughter's birthday last week, and we celebrated her birthday yesterday, and kind of celebrated it on her actual birthday. So one thing that she's dealing with, and she's very young, right? She's 7. So like, although I'm still trying to impart this wisdom, because I understand, because she is going through, and it starts early, through this gas thing, this consumerism thing, this consumption thing. she's going through it, right? And it's very prevalent. I mean, kids are like that, right? And I don't want to. I don't know if you can avoid it. Maybe there's certain things you can do in parenting to help them, but I've been trying to explain it to her because I'm also going through it now too, because I've been looking at gear. There's a few different things that I've been looking at. So I've been looking at getting a rack, like, you know, just a rack to rack things, because I want like a line mixer so I can put multiple inputs and have it come into the MPC. I'm re-looking at channel strips again, and I know I don't need this stuff because this works pretty well. I got the microphone, the USB mic going into the iPad, and the iPad's got the virtual effects that I can use as a what do you call it, a vocal, like a channel strip. And then I got the MPC, which has plenty of other effects and stuff too, so I don't need it. But where I am limited here is if I wanted to plug multiple things into my MPC. If I wanted to plug a turntable in, or like a synth. I have a Yamaha Sectrack synth, so I don't have it plugged in because I don't have multiple inputs. So that's one thing I'm gassing for too. Channel strips and stuff and that. And then I've been looking at turntables. I've also been looking at MIDI mixers. There's a new one coming out, the Novation Launch Control XL Mark III, I think. And it looks really nice. Just a MIDI controller with 8 channels, right? And knobs and faders and stuff. So, also not a thing I need. And MPC 3 is pretty nice with its linear mixer that we got now. But I've been actually just with this last song, so that's another thing. I'm trying to stay productive while like the gas is coming through. I've been kind of revamping my channel, focusing more on the songwriting, content and stuff. And so I've got a song that I'm gonna release. It's scheduled for Tuesday, I think, next week, a couple days. And then I've also got like a song breakdown, which is my goal, is to have a song, and those song breakdowns, kind of the marketing thing. And it's still kind of the creative process, MPC content that goes with the music. I actually just shot a tutorial. It's been a while since I shot a tutorial, so I got a tutorial video for people who are wanting to record vocals or who are recording vocals in the MPC standalone. DJ Rec, what's good? Use the 12-10 techniques with Serato. Okay, you guys are real DJs. I'm mostly grabbing one. Want to grab one for sampling, and I'll show you my 2 options. You can tell me if they're trash, and you might tell me that they're trash because I've read around that, you know, some of these brands that I'm looking at aren't, you know, they're not the best. But I'm not really looking at scratching. I mean, I've wanted to do that. That's why I got like the PTO1 scratch, but I never got around to it. Because I'm actually more interested in scratching my own vocal. That's the idea that I have, is to be able to scratch my own vocal. So if I have like record a little vocal line that is related to the hook, and I can scratch that in. So I never, like, I bought the PTO scratch, but I never bought any of those, like, what are those, was it cuts? I forget what they're called. Little 10-inch or 7-inch record with the scratch sounds on them. Never ended up buying one of those because I think they were like $30, $40, and I just didn't see myself, I guess, buying it. Didn't invest in that, which I should have. Maybe I will after I get this. So maybe that'll be a part of it. But I'm looking at these belt-driven turntables because they're cheaper. I was reading an article where someone actually preferred a belt-driven table over a direct drive one, because they said that direct drive sounded more, I don't know if the word was sterile or what. But then I had me thinking, like, what is the difference? Is because I know the belts over time they wear out, right? And so you have inconsistencies in pitch, right? So I don't know, is that something that doesn't happen with a direct drive? You don't have that wow and flutter because it's a motor that's free of a belt. So I kind of like that. So I'm like, oh, maybe I would prefer a belt drive one. But maybe a belt drive one is more so for just listening, maybe sampling, and less for scratching. So I'd want to be able to scratch too. I think replacing the belts is probably easy enough. I mean, when you get it and you get some of these things new in the box, you gotta put them together anyways. So I mean, it's just belt, and maybe they're not too expensive. But what else is in here? Viral Beats was good. Not true. Direct drives last forever. So I'm looking at the belt drive ones because they're, I think, just generally cheaper. Vynil has a Reloop RP200 MK2, which is their entry-level direct drive, got it especially for sampling. Okay, I'm gonna look at that one. I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna pull up because I got the ones that I want, that are my options, that are under 200. What's going on here? So what do y'all think about Gemini as far as DJ gear goes? Okay, here's one. This is it's no longer available at Zounds. But anyways, I'm looking at, I'll just keep it like this. Keep it like this. I guess this is not available here, but I seen it over on like Musician's Friend on sale for 200. And yeah, so I'm looking at getting one of these, and I also I don't believe I need a mixer for something like this, because I have it has a phono line switch. So I have two inputs on the MPC. One's a phono, which I don't use at all, but I could, you know, possibly grab one of these up and then have my mic hooked up and then have the turntable, and I could just switch back and forth. So this has an option of line, like a preamp or non-preamp phono. I'm assuming that's what that means. Or so that's one of the options. I think as going through, like, researching these a little bit, I've come across the fact that a lot of these companies are making like Technique 1200 clones, the way they look. So there's that one, and then this is a brand that possibly y'all are gonna be like, nah, because they're kind of known for like the cheap little suitcases. But this one is $179. It's got decent reviews. You know, it's got that knockoff Techniques 1200 look, which the main one I was looking at was like the Audio Technica ATSL 120 or something like that. I don't think it's SL, something like that. And Audio Technica is like my first choice, but those are a little bit more expensive. Like the one I was looking at, I think it was like $499. I could possibly get one for like 300 used off of Sounds. But then this is cool because, I mean, it's about the same features, same look. I like the look of it. And then it also has the needle on this is Audio Technica, and it's under 200. It's like 179, right? So, and then it's got those features that I was hoping for, I believe. It's got the phono line switch, so if I wanted to plug it into a mixer or just plug it straight into the MPC, I could do either or. So I mean, those got decent. I'm probably leaning towards this one because it's a little bit cheaper and I can get it quick. Did I even finish my thought? I don't think I finished my thought about, anyways, my daughter's birthday. And I bought her some, all my girls' birthdays, I let them pick something out on Amazon and order. And so their toys came. My daughter's toys came early, and I was like, okay, go ahead, you can go ahead and play with it. Here it is. You know, it's on the doorstep. You can have it. She's so happy and all that. And a few days go by, and then I go to the store. I have like a less than a month old, and I wanted to go buy like there's this huge store where you can get furniture. I wanted a little rocker chair, so we went in there, and they also have toys for like young kids. And I went ahead and bought all my daughters some more toys. And my daughter, whose birthday, she's a 7-year-old who's recently, she's like, I'm so happy, thank you, Daddy, you know, I love you so much. I'll never want anything ever again. Of course, some days go by, and she's asking her sister, because her sister says she's gonna buy her some toys. This is her older sister, she's 8, and so she says she's gonna buy her something. And she just, like, as the days pass, she's like, when will you be able to take my sister to Target and get me a gift? And she just keeps asking me, like, when will you be able to, you know, when will you be able to? And I'm like, well, You said you were happy and won't want anything else. And she gets to the point where she's asking for specific things from her sister, and of course I'm gonna end up paying for that. And that's not even the main issue. Like, the money is not the main issue. I'm trying to, like, impart with her some wisdom that I understand, even though I struggle. And that's the point. Like, even as you get older, you're gonna still want. So, you know, you need to learn to maybe appreciate the things you have. It's only been a few days, and today she's asking me because she wanted her sister to get her this ballerina doll, this gymnastics doll, ballerina doll. So she wanted something specific, but her sister picked out some other stuff, which she was happy with, I guess, for a moment. But she's today asking, and I could see her like in distress. She's like kind of like whining and like crying about it, and I'm like trying to kick wisdom to her, like, yo, you're gonna always want something. It was just yesterday that you were so happy and you said that you don't need anything else and you'll never ask for anything else, and here we are. And so, like, I'm just trying to share that with her. And it's funny because it's been, I think it's to the point sometimes it causes me a bit of distress, like the endless want, and I'm like just tired of it. Like, it's tiresome, right? It is so tiresome. So I'm trying to like explain that to her, and then I'm telling her about credit cards. She's 7 years old, and I try to suggest, because I live in an apartment, I can't do yard sales here, but I try to suggest to her to ask her grandma, who lives around the house, my mom, if she could do like a yard sale and like take some of her old toys. She's got stacks of toys, her and her sisters, and sell those and put it towards what you want, right? And you know, it's still, because that's the thing, like, I'm like, because even still, when you get older, you're still gonna have this same attitude. It's not just gonna disappear until you understand something, possibly. And even when you do understand something, because I understand it now myself, and still want. I'm a little more intelligent about it, and I resist, and I wait, and I try to investigate and try to figure out ways to do what it is that I'm trying to do with that new gear, with what I have. So I kind of slow it down, and then I trade up, right? If I buy something new, I get rid of something. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to share with her, is like, sell some of your toys and save up. Because the problem is right now is you just want it now. And that's, as people grow up, they do the same thing. They get what are called credit cards, and because they don't want to wait, they use a credit card. But then they end up owing a lot more money, right? So I'm explaining it to her. Anyways, and it's funny because maybe it's not funny. Maybe it's a spiritual thing. Maybe she's dealing with it because I'm dealing with it, you know? And I got to cut it off and just be like, you know, this is what it is, and just cut it out for myself. But anyway, this is where we are. So I want to look up the turntable that you were talking about, viral. Let's see. He said, was it a rain or was it a reloop? I think I seen them reloops. This chat populate, but I don't remember seeing anything cheap though. So reloop, yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's like $1,000, right? Reloop RP 200 MK. Reloop. What was it? RP, is it 2000? RP 2000. Oh, okay, that's not too bad, but a little bit more than what I want to spend. I'd probably go with the Audio Technica. 329, 399, 359. I wonder if Zounds has that one. Let's check it out. It sounds. Ooh, they have a 7,000, a 1,000. They don't have. Is that? I'm guessing that one's probably discontinued. Is it? 7,000, 8,000. Turn 7 premium belt drive, USB. That thing looks cool, but it's $1,000. Yeah, I'm not trying to spend $1,000. This all started because I'm looking at used turntables on Goodwill, and you can find them pretty cheap. But yeah, so let me see the chat. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the Gemini one and the Crosley one, if you guys have tried them out. And I'm curious, do any of you plug in straight into your MPC on the phono inputs? Have Audio Technica. Yeah, that's the one. ATLP 120X. You got the Core Candy Tracks play. Mr. Live from NY. What's up, man? Yeah, that's the main one that I was looking at, because I seen some used 60s for cheap, and then I'm like, I don't want one of those automatic ones. I want a manual table. So yeah, that was the first one I was looking at. But I think I like the idea of the Crosley that comes with Audio Technica parts. Don't waste your time with belt. Can't compare belt and direct drive. Sure, that was my thought initially anyways. Like, but if you could go into the reasonings other than the wear on the belt and having to replace it, if you're mainly just sampling, what do you think? Godzone, what's up? Mainly use TrackLib these days? Okay. For sure, I might revisit that. I tried to visit that once and I was kind of unsure about it. Grab the Gemini. Okay. I've had the Newmark PTO one. I want to do something different because that's about the same price. And I actually sold that one to a friend and coworker recently. So if I wanted to, he'd probably lend it to me. Yeah. I don't know. So are the Newmark PTO ones, are those belt drives? The LP60. How do you feel about that automatic, Tony? Virtuoso. Because that's the first thing I would kind of got me interested in the Audio Technicas. But I'm like, nah, I don't really want an automatic one. I like pulling up the needle and setting it down myself. Vynil has a nostalgia to it. Yeah, and I want to kind of avoid it just being that, you know? And I think that's probably the main thing. That's what's kind of grasping right now, the nostalgia of it. I just imagine picking up a record, setting it down, smelling the dust of it, and lifting the needle, all that. And yeah, it's nostalgic in the process of beat making myself since I started when I was 18. That's what I was doing. And it's kind of unmatched as far as finding those open drum sounds and instruments and stuff and breaks or whatever. Like, that's kind of an unmatched feeling in this whole process. But I think there was a lot less then, because I'm 30, I was about to say 30, I'm 39, and there's a lot more access to sounds now where it's like, do I want to take that long route now at this point in my life? So I don't know. Mainly it would just be a fun thing. Always need a turntable, but digital is better for stampable stemming. I have super cheap and simple Newmark PTO and works great, lightweight and portable. Yeah, I might re-look for a PTO one or get that Ion version if I can find a used one. Still Tripping was good. Still sample and use the PTO one. Nothing is better if you see them. They still look brand new. Sim City, what is good, man? Welcome in. Audio Technica has an equivalent, a bit cheaper. DJ Rec are familiar with phase. Needles way too play and scratch records. Tired of replacing needles. Phono has less resolution, but I use it manually. If you're not going to mix and scratch, then get the belt. Okay, yeah, see, I'm not likely going to. I might want to scratch here and there, but it definitely wouldn't be a high usage for that. So you think, is that going to wear the belt out quicker? Most likely. Oh, Tony, you can use it manually. Is there like a turn that off option? It sounds like it has a great quality. Okay. Maybe I can go for one of those because I've seen them for pretty cheap. Ali Star, what's good? I think you just got You guys got one, huh? Lorraine 12. Records was good. I still sample vinyl, and I use the 8TL P120X USB. And my portable is the Columbia GP3. I don't know what that is. Let me see. Oh, that's old, huh? That's old school. Got it on eBay. Are the needles for this easy to find? Oh, that's vintage for sure. 116. I want one of these right here. Y'all seen these little mini ones? It was a 3-inch record player. It's hilarious. It's got an Audio Technica needle. Anyways, you're not probably gonna be able to find many 3-inch records. A Columbia GP3 129. Those are old, right? They're not just like vintage looking. I don't know. Like, this is a fun thing. So I'm kind of second guessing the thought of, you know, even spending like $200. If I can find something used, because it's just gonna be a fun thing for me. You know, I can sample like this. I found this sample off of the internet, right?
Who am I? Who am I? Who can't face the world?
You know, so it's much quicker and takes up less space, more efficient. I don't know.
Who am I? Who am I? Who can't face the world goodbye? Who am I? 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 Who am I?
Whoops.
Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I?
Whoops. Oh man.
Who am I?
Oh, we got slices on this already.
Who am I? 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 Who am I?
Let's try it. Yeah. Try it again. Yeah. Without the gears in it. Okay. This is gonna help build a little vocal, help build a little song concept. In a second, let me get these drums right though. Yeah. Who am I without these things? Who am I without this nightmare? Who am I without these things? Who am I without this? Who am I without the, who am I without the, who am I without the, yeah. Who am I without the, I'm gonna mute myself real quick. Pull up my vocal chain. Check 1, 2. Who am I without the money? Who am I without these things? Who am I? I got to build it. Who am I without these things? Who am I without the? Who am I without the? Without the, yeah, who am I without the, who am I? That'll be the whole hook, but I gotta think of some ideas. Who am I without these tools? Who am I, my fool? Who am I without these things, all this money? Who am I, yeah, who am I? Who am I without this money? Who am I without these things? Who am I without these money? Who am I without these things? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money? Without these tools? Who am I? Who am I? Yeah. Them drums are sloppy. I think I redo those. I still always struggle with trying to do hi-hats. Never happy with the hi-hats. Let me turn the AC off real quick. Oh, that's not good. Got my headphones on the floor. It's all good though. If yeah, I mean, there's a chance I might want to try to scratch, but regardless how much, I'll probably end up not doing it, just like it was with the PT-01 scratch. The Audio Technica Soundburger got it used for 120. I don't know. That thing's definitely a space saver. Audio Technica 120. It's okay. I don't think it's good for scratching. You got needle bounces all over it. Tony Virtuoso, Japanese all the way, man. Audio Technica. They're about quality. No thoughts and opinions on the Crosley, because that's the one I'm leaning towards since it's cheaper. Needles for the GP3 are easy to find. Okay, cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll look at it if I see one pretty cheap. Fluence RT82, belt driven but reused, seem good and in the range suggested. Colin Davey, thanks for the suggestion. Have you any experience with it though? The GP3 was made from the 80s well into the 2000s. Oh, okay. Don't sleep on sampling from Spotify or Tidal. You know, those are two apps I never even go on. Maybe I should. True, hooking up the phone is cool in its own right, but nothing can replace going to a brick and mortar digging crates. Yeah, for sure. There's a feeling. Hey, love. Nicole, hey, that's my wife right there. Hi, baby. I don't know if you're watching still. Thanks for being here. Frey Bentos, what's good? I don't sample vinyl, but it's the best way to get samples meshing together because you can adjust the pitch and get in tune. It's harder just hoping for the best with YouTube sample. What do you sample with? You got an MPC? Because I've thought about that also, like doing different sample source. That's like the coolest, I think, like the most rewarding kind of thing. I remember I first started doing that when I had my MPC 500, because back then the MPC 500 did something different that the MPCs didn't do, and it's such a simple thing. People probably overlook it because it just seems like so essential, and that's like being able to go through your browser and play your beat and actually preview samples. So back when I had the 500, I was like sampling all kind of vinyl, and I was creating folders with I think it was just by artist name, and I would just go through those and load up different sounds from different vinyl sources that I had pre-saved, pre-recorded, and then put them together. And that was definitely a fun thing to do. Very rewarding feeling when you start putting those things together, like you're building your own band. It reminds me of that scene, if you guys have seen the Wu-Tang series, where RZA is like sitting there and he's kind of imagining things, and he's like bringing in different artists and musicians from different records, and like you can see them visibly on the screen, like they're actually there, but he's just like imagining it while he's like sampling. I gotta finish that series. I haven't watched season 2 yet. Hugh Credulum, what's good, man? King Drew, what's up? Yeah, with your phone, unlimited source to the sample, and it's basically free. Exactly. That's why this is a hard choice, because it's more a nostalgia and fun. It's something that I used to do that gives you a feeling, versus free, space saving, efficient. I don't gotta go nowhere to buy anything. I mean, I guess I can order stuff online, like I was saying earlier. And then, I could focus on, I don't know, I don't think it takes away too much from me songwriting if I got a turntable, because that's ultimately what I'd be doing. I had one thought. I did want to challenge myself, and I've tried to do this too, but sometimes you find a record and there's like nothing on it, but like to challenge yourself to just sample everything on the record. I forget, I heard someone who did that. MP Live 5000. Do you like DJ Shadow? I've heard that one album he made on the MPC. I remember when I was going I was going to school for music and hearing about that album. He did all on like the 2000 XL or something. And that's kind of how he goes about making stuff. I think that's what you're implying, right? He does like the collage of samples. Pete, that's what you're saying. But other than that album, Introducing, I don't think I've really listened to any of his other music. Do you recommend? Has he got some more newer albums to check out? There's a reason Alchemists and others use a turntable, because you can get them in tune a lot easier, and you can rewind back and catch stuff more precise, but there's ways around it without one. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I was asking if you have a live. So I mean, because you can do, and it's much easier to have something like this. Like you can do that by ear, and there's a certain level of satisfaction by doing things by ear. That's why I like my SP404 Mark II, the simplicity of it, because I'll use the chromatic mode and my ear to kind of figure out what key things are in, so that I can play samples, instruments over my like chop sample and stuff. So that's cool. But then with the MPC, you've got the key detect, so you can detect your first sample that you use, see what keys it in, and then sample something else and just pitch it till that, reflects the other sample. And you can do that creatively, and it's quick. He has got lots. He is a crate digger for sure. I'll have to check out some more of his stuff. One person I really like who's big on vinyl for sure, that inspired me to do videos, was Jake One. You got that room full of records, and those beat breakdown videos are really inspiring. King Drew, yeah, I've owned a 2500. Yes, I have. I've owned a couple different ones actually. I had a black one, and then I actually had a limited edition one for a little bit. Probably should have held on to it, because I know they're becoming more collectible and they cost a little bit, holding their value. That's what's cool about some of this gear stuff. It holds its value. It's different than like talking to my daughter about like those dolls that she throws in a corner in a toy box, I was talking to her about doing a yard sale, and she's like, "Can I get $20 for these dolls?" I'm like, "No, you probably can't ask for $20. You can't expect much when you're selling stuff at a yard sale." But yeah, a lot of this gear, man, it keeps its value, so that's good about this hobby is I can always trade stuff up and not lose too much money. Sometimes even make some money. Chemist, okay, for sure. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. But then also another thing, I'll buy something, I could sell it if it doesn't work out. I just don't want to take away from what my focus is. I prefer 16 levels. Let's get my samples in key over the others, then time stretch or tune to same speed as the others and pitch shift. There's many ways, but 16 levels is handy. Cool. I was messing with 16 levels because I don't use that much. I was definitely doing that when I was talking about the 500 when I first started mixing samples from different sources. 16 levels was key. And that was cool. But it's 16 levels, since I got you and you use that a lot. Is 16 levels always been monophonic? Because I was trying to use it like a couple months back, but play chords with it, and I couldn't do it for some reason. Yeah, I know about like the global settings, so it wasn't that. It was set to poly. I'm not sure what it was, but maybe it's monophonic. Is it? Is 16 levels monophonic? Who am I without the who am I without the who am I without this? Who am I without you? Who am I without you? Who am I without the money and all the things? Who am I without this pain? Who am I? Najee Harrison, what's good? I want to, but it's something about that Roland Mark IV I can't get with. Roland Mark IV? What are you talking about? I'm gonna assume you mean the SP44 Mark II. Might be mono if the program is set to mono. Yeah, I don't think it was set to mono. I don't know. I don't care to look right now. It's not something that I would use too much. I might look into it. Feeling lazy. I'm gonna go ahead and save this as a song project. Should I? I don't even have a hook yet. I have an idea. Yeah, the 404. Okay. Without that, hey. Who am I without that, hey? Yeah. Who am I without that? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without this? Who am I without addiction? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this pain? All this money, things that I seek, more pain. Who am I without addiction? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking for every single day? Who am I, yeah? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? I'm seeking for this money and these things. Who am I, yeah? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addiction? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money that I'm seeking for all these things? Who am I? Who am I without this money? Who am I without? without this? Who am I without the? Who am I? Who am I without the pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money that I'm seeking? All these things. Who am I? Yeah. Let me get some. Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Yeah, too much reverb. I don't know. Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Okay, who am I? Who am I? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? I made the drum kit out of just a bunch of different sources and processed them a little bit through what's it called? Air Flavor Pro. But the real secret to getting samples meshing is just putting a filter on the record input and using high pass filters or bandpass. Marlo Diggs has a video on it if you're a YouTube digger. It's good. Cool. That's a good little tip. Keep that in mind. Rob Ultra, this is Fire. What's good, Raul? Peace. Peace, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. This world needs a hero. What's good? I used a Pioneer DJ PLX 1000 and it sounds amazing. Frey Bentos was good. Thank you, man. Let me look that one up. Pioneer DJ PLX. Pioneer DJ PLX. Hold on. PLX 1000. Pioneer DJ PLX 1000. Ooh, 739. Yeah, I bet it sounds pretty good. Not what I'm trying to spend on now. Looks good though. Looks nice. The beat sounds a little bit like Wu-Tang Clan. Cool. I think I gotta tighten the drums up a bit. Who am I without this pain? Yeah. Who am I without this? Who am I without this pain? Let me just do it one time and then drop off. Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains on me? Who am I without this money and these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains on me? Who am I without this money and these things? Who am I without these chains on me? Who am I without these things that I'm seeking? I'll leave the money part out. Who am I without these chains? Pain. Who am I without this? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addiction? Who am I without these chains on me? Who am I without these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addiction? I don't know, it sounds a little repetitive. I gotta get the tone good though. Check. Who am I without these? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without this thing out of hand? Who am I without this pain? Without addiction? Without these chains and with all these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Am I without these chains on me? Without these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Without addictions? Without these chains on me? With all these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Without this pain? Without addictions? Without these chains on me? With all these things that I'm seeking? Without this pain? Okay. Without this pain? Who am I? Without this pain? Who am I? Without addictions? Let me. I'm gonna try out a vocal tuner. Let me see. C minor. Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I without these chains on me? Who am I with all these things that I'm seeking? Who am I without this pain? Who am I without addictions? Who am I? Who am I? Without this pain? Without this pain? Who am I? Without this pain? Who am I? Without addictions? Who am I? Without these chains on me? Who with all these things that I'm seeking? Without this pain? Without addictions? Without these chains on me? With all these things that I'm seeking? Without the who am I? Without this pain? Who am I? Without addictions? Who am without I? These chains? That sounds weird. Without this pain? Without addictions? Without these. Rob Ultra, am I the only one who still hasn't updated my MPC? I've been in a creative zone. I didn't want to change up anything. From MPC2. That's funny you say that because I went into the Guitar Center yesterday and they finally put a Key 61 on display that you can play. And it had MPC2 on it. And I was just thinking about telling these guys, like, yo, you gotta upgrade this. I don't think they even know, honestly. I feel like applying over there at Guitar Center just so I can be the MPC guy, because I don't think those guys really know. So just want to be the MPC guy at Guitar Center and take a pay cut from my other job and get minimum wage. I'm just being a dick. All right. Yeah. Lord Mal, what's good? Peace, brother. Peace to you. I'm going to jump off here because I was just going to do 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah. I ain't done a stream in a while, so that was cool. Got somewhat of a song concept going. And then, yeah. Look to next week, Tuesday in the morning, I'll have a new song. You can check out. It's called Nothing Changed. It's funny, it's a new song that I'm finishing now, but it's probably one of the first songs that I started writing on the MPC, and it wasn't really my vibe or taste of what I do, but I pulled it up and wanted to finish it because I felt like at least the song message was something that I deal with and is thoughtful and introspective like I am. So I decided to finish it. So I had written a hook for this song and written a verse, and then I just recently wrote the second verse, recorded it, and I recorded it actually while I was recording a song breakdown, and I went and I did the takes in the video. And so the takes that I did in the video are actually the takes that will be in a song, and that's pretty rare because I'll do live stream recording sessions where I'm trying to get the verse takes in, and I'll go through and do 10 takes and not be happy with those, and then sit with it by myself and try to redo it. But yeah, luckily these 2 takes that I did in the video are the ones that I kept. So that's a record right there. So yeah, look for that Tuesday morning coming out, and then probably later that month, maybe in a week or so, I don't know, I might decide to put this tutorial that I recorded today out on vocal recording before that. So doing pretty good. I got stuff lined up. I got the next 3 uploads lined up for this month, and I've got my my next song for next month lined up. I just got to write a second verse for it, record it, arrange it, automate, and it'll be set. But yeah, thank you all for your suggestions. Thanks for kicking it with me. I'm going to think this through a little bit longer, whether I even want to invest back into vinyl again. Yeah, it's just a nice thing, really. So I don't know. For me, the smart thing would probably not be to do it. I don't know. So, yeah. Peace, everyone. Thanks for kicking it. Yahweh bless every single one of you. All right. I'll see y'all later.